Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video we are going to see how to do matrix addition in C programming. Now let's go ahead and introduce some array. For that, first I'm introducing a 2 by 2D array. I leave the space as 20. It can store up to 20 numbers. 20 and then another 20. This is one of the array, and another array B 20 and 20. Okay, now here we have to decide the columns, rows based on the user's input. To do that, to store the column and row, we are going to introduce some variables, integer type of variables R and C, and for looping I and J. Here we are going to use nested for loop, so we are introducing two integers for looping. Okay, now the next thing is we have to give a prompt to the user to enter the rows, enter the columns. Like, user is going to decide how many rows, how many columns. So to get the input from the user, we are going to give a prompt to the user. In this prompt, the first prompt, I'm going to ask the user to enter the rows, and then we have to get the input of rows using scanf statement. Scanf %d, and whatever the value the user enter, it's going to be stored in R. Okay, now the next thing is we are going to get the input of column. Printf statement, enter the column, and we are going to get the input of the column number using scanf statement. %d, and we are going to store this one in C. Okay, now finally we are going to get the input of matrix values. Printf. To get the input, we are going to give a prompt to the user to enter the matrix values. Enter the value of matrix A, and then to get the input from the user, here it depends on, like, if it's 2 by 2 matrix, like, it has to run 2 times, right? So to do that, we have to use a nested for loop. Nested for loop so the user is going to enter 4 numbers. So based on if the user entered 2 rows, 2 columns, it has to run that many times to get the input from the user. So in order to get the input, we have to use this nested for loop. Let's go ahead and create the nested for loop. In the first for loop, I initialize I with 0. I set the condition I is less than row, because if it's starting from 0, if the user enter 2, it means 0 1, it's already 2, so that's why less than row. Then we do the increment by 1, and then inside of this for loop we create another for loop. That's why we call this one nested for loop. I initialize j with 0, and then we do the condition, that is j is less than c, and then we do the increment of j by 1, j plus plus. Okay, it's loading. Okay, now we are going to ask the user to enter the values. Printf statement, enter the value of A %d and %d. So what's going to happen is, here it's going to ask the user to, if it's because in the rows and columns, it can be first row, first column, 0th row, like first row, first column, second row, second column. So the reason of this %d is going to say 0 0 0 1. It's going to say which value the user is entering. Okay, it's going to show next to each of these, the user is going to enter the value, so the user know the number he is entering, where it's going. Okay, and then this is coming from ing. Now to get the input from the user, we have to use scanf statement. %d, and whatever the value the user enters should be stored in the array a, and we put ampersand in front, a, I, and then j. Okay, now we have created for one matrix. If you want to create another matrix, we can just copy this one and paste it right here. Copy the whole thing and paste it here. You can do this for as many times as you want. Like if you are trying to add 3 matrix, you can copy and paste one more time and change this one into B. Like here we are changing it into B. If you copy and paste one more thing, you can change that one into C and then do this one. Right here we have to do some changing. This should be B, this one should be B, and this one also ampersand B. Okay, now we have created 2 matrices. We are going to add them together. So first let's give a display. In that display we are going to say total matrix, total matrix, and I leave another line. And then to do the addition, again we have to create a nested for loop. It's going to be same as this one. I copy this one and paste it right here. Okay, in this one we are going to do the addition. In this nested for loop we are going to do the addition. To do the addition we are going to put printf, and to leave a tab I put \t and %d for the numbers, integer type of numbers. And then we are going to do the addition, matrix addition. In this matrix addition we put a, I, and then j plus b, I, and j. Okay, now we have done the matrix addition. The next thing is also we have to leave a new line because it's going to run 2 times. First time it's going to print 2 numbers, then it has to go to the new line. If we are adding 2 by 2 matrix, first 2 numbers are going to be on same row, then it has to go to the next row. To go to the next row we have to put a printf statement right here. I mean new line statement, \n for new line. Okay, it's going to go to the new line. Now that's it. It should work right now. Let's go ahead and run this one. Hopefully there's no error. Okay, now it's working. Let's put some values. Let's say we are going to create a 2 by 2 matrix, 2 rows, 2 columns, and enter the values of matrix A, enter the value of 0, 0. So let's put some random values, 6, 7, 8, 9. Enter the values of B0, 0. Let's put some random numbers, 1, 5, 6, 8. Okay, now it's adding the matrix and giving the final answer, 7, 12, 14, 17. And that's how we do that. And if you are trying to access these codes, it's in my blogger. I put the link of this link of my blogger in the description, so you can go ahead and access these codes. And if you are trying to learn C or C++ programming, there are a bunch of videos in my playlist. I hope you guys watch that too, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.